So let's talk about colors real quick. When you're painting something like this, there is about 3 or 4 different ways to paint it. You could paint it to match the studio model. You could paint it to match the box. You could paint it however the hell you feel like it. Or in this case, in this project, you could paint it to match the decals. And each one of those is a different color. So, going by the paints here in the instructions for the model itself, most of these colors seem to be fairly accurate. The box colors do not, for the most part, especially down there. But the overriding factor in this project is I want to make it to match the decals. So I want to try to match the grays and the blues here. Now most of these colors seemed accurate except for the duck egg blue. I checked out duck egg blue and it was extremely light. Almost, it was sort of a sickly cool gray, or not cool white color. It looks absolutely nothing like what's on the box here. That's this color here or this color here, depending on what you want to think. This is probably paint, this is probably decal. Well, this is decal. But it did not match the decal blue color at all. So instead of duck egg blue, I went with some Vallejo Model Air. It says blue, but it's actually pale blue, 71008. So, and that was a pretty good match straight out of the bottle, as you can see here. This is still very wet, so I can't touch it. The color I used for German gray, that was my fault. I just thought it was supposed to be a lot darker. I was totally off on that one. Dark gull gray, according to the instructions. Instead of buying that, because I like to buy Vallejo paints because I can use them for miniatures as well, rather than buying testers. So I got some medium sea gray, which is virtually the same color. So that will have to be repainted there. So that's my purchases for the day. Now, the nacelles here, obviously I'm painting up. I've already masked off the part where I painted the steelish metallic color. And this is just Tamiya tape here. It's not the best thing for going around corners. It does have a tendency to pull up a bit, and I'm sure there's going to be some leakage here and there. It's already peeling up again. I can see right there. I did order some Parafilm M, which I think would work better, but I don't want to wait for it to arrive. But I just sprayed this, so it's still wet. I need to let it dry for an hour or so. Then this center section gets masked, and the edge here gets masked. And then I spray the medium sea gray color on this bar, the secondary bar, touching the main section here. So this is spray, mask, then spray, then mask, then spray, then mask, and then mask it all and spray all the whites. I probably should have done this in pieces instead. If you are following along at home, if you want to leave it all separate, that's not a bad idea, just because working with all the super glue, I don't like gluing stuff with super glue after it's been painted, because there's going to be leakage and there's going to be frosting. But I would probably leave this back section off here, this tail section, and the front here, and this little nub thing here. It would make it a lot easier, because there's going to be leakage here. I'm going to have to touch some stuff up with a brush. But it's kind of the task I set myself on right now. So yeah, we could let this dry, and then masking step number 2. The masking and painting and masking and painting here on the nacelles went fine until the last step, spraying the dark sea gray. I had a bit too thin, and unfortunately it leaked a bit underneath the previous tape and started peeling it up. Pulled off the tape with the plans of remasking the blue and repainting that. However, I think I'm just gonna, I'm gonna wait until I paint all the white, and then when I pull it all off and then touch it up as necessary, hopefully I can just use a brush to touch it up, but we'll see. And the process for the masking is, as I said before, the Parafilm M, I really wish I could try it on this project, since it's, I'm assuming it's more flexible and would work better for going around corners. But I have Tamiya tape, and just put it on and kind of press it down as best you can, and has to be a brand new X-Acto knife, and just go along the seam very carefully. So you can remove the extra bits. I'm applying almost no pressure here, because obviously I don't want to cut the plastic down below. And if you don't cover the whole thing on the first time around, of course you can just reapply tape where necessary. Let's pull this up, hold down the parts that I want to stay. Tweezers, where are my tweezers? There we go. And there we are, we're masked off. So I just need since this is curved, I got to do this in about 4 parts here. But I just need to get this masked off and these, and we'll be almost ready to go with the white. So all the white's painted, and it's a little blotchy, unfortunately. If I had some spray white, I would have done that instead, because trying to get pure white in a smooth coat is a bit difficult, and I didn't want to lump up too many layers. However, time to remove all the masking and see what we got underneath. The tape is all off, and mostly a success. A few areas I have to touch up here, got a bit messed up. And mainly the nacelles. I got lazy, and rather than using the tape, I just tried some latex, which works fine. I don't like to use it because it's kind of hard to control, but I put it on, and I should have done 2 coats. If you only do 1 coat, it's a lot harder to get off, and I didn't quite cover correctly, which is no big deal because I wanted to repaint this anyway. I was already planning on doing it. But there we have it. It's mostly looking pretty good. There's not too many mistakes, except for the areas in here, which I was already aware was going to happen, and planned to touch that up with with a brush. And I did paint over the front of the nacelles here because it was just too difficult to get this masked off properly. It'd be a lot easier if I reverse the mask rather than trying to mask off this rounded surface, mask off the area around it instead, and repaint it. Again, no big deal. So plan is now to touch up those areas, mainly just the nacelles here and this bottom section here, and then we can do a gloss coat and then start on damn decals.